What I'm doing today is introducing 2 ways that I would recommend to learn with a bigger wing. One is via knee start, hanging on the rails, and the other one is going straight to feet, but in crouched position, hanging onto the rails. Let's start with the knee start. If you can do this, get your leg through there, and your legs up while your hands are still on the ground, you should be able to do the knee start. If you really struggle with that, keep practicing this either on dry land, or you might have to adopt a different learning technique. What you do is you get to the edge of the dock, holding on the back, get your hands in here. After you take off from the dock, you're reaching your knee to high up, way higher up on the board than you expect. Your knee's gonna be able, there, you're gonna transfer your hands to there. Just try to glide for the first couple of days. Ultimately, you're just trying to develop the muscle memory to keep it going straight. You need to develop all of those little twitch muscles and understanding about how that feels. So just jumping, hanging on with your knee and gliding and dragging your other foot behind. Do that until it becomes second nature. Then you want to drag your other knee up. So then you're on the board with both knees. Start to feel what it's like to generate some energy. And do it until it really becomes easy. And this is a really gradual, incremental way to learn. If you're impatient, you can skip to the next steps. Now what you want to do, you can start to put pressure on your front left foot onto the board and stop it from lifting. And then you transfer your right leg to the back of the board. And then you get into the pumping position. Keep in mind, all of these steps, never let go of the rails. The rails are your training wheels. The rails are your safety. If you let go of that, you're at risk of jackknifing, but this is what's really keeping this safe. So you're learning incrementally, so hang onto those rails. You like this on the board now. Get your front leg up, get your back leg up, and then you're holding the rails and you're gliding and you're starting to feel the pumps and you're getting your balance and you're gonna start to be able to control that sway. Do this, again, everything's hundreds of times if you need it. We all learn at different speeds, but ultimately you're just hanging onto the rails and you're pumping like this. Just get into the zone, do it again. And once this becomes easy for you and consistent every time you're jumping and you're pumping like this, not only getting super strong legs and a strong butt, you'll know when you're ready. You'll be able to start letting go with your hands. You'll want to experiment every once in a while. You'll want to see how high you can get, then you'll have your crash. So you can start getting up higher and see where your threshold is before you start to lose it. But eventually you're just gonna go from pumping, hanging on the rails, pumping, not hanging onto the rails, and then working your way up, finding that rhythm, and then you'll start to put your whole body into it, and then you're going on to the next stage. That's the initial steps. Go through those steps, do them over and over and over, way more times than you think it's gonna take you. But you're gonna come out of it way stronger than you were when you started. You're gonna have a great time doing it, and you're gonna learn how to pump foil finally. Now, this one is for people that have the background knowledge, they have a skill set with skateboarding and skimboarding and a bunch of other things. This might be a technique that works better for you. You can skip the knee stage and go straight to feet, but you're hanging onto the rails. So once you jump in the squatting position, you jump as low as possible, and you're hanging onto those rails. Remember, those rails are your training wheels. And glide and learn how to adjust your feet. Try to get your feet in the right spot every time. You want to be consistent, getting your feet into your sweet spot. And as you're gliding, if you feel like your feet are not where they're supposed to be, you'll feel it because you'll lose your balance, you'll crash. That glide is that time you have to adjust your feet to where you want them. For me, generally, I want the ball of my front foot on the stringer and my back foot pretty much centered most of the time. Then start pumping. Feel that rhythm. Keep hanging on to your, call it your training wheels. It's your safety. Don't let go of those rails. And you learn how to pump that way until it's easy to pump that way. And then gradually, over many days of that, you can start to let go of your hands. And then you can work your way higher and higher and higher. And that throughout that process, you're gonna pick up all of the knowledge you need for your rhythm, your tempo. But the main thing is about all of this is get out there regularly, every day if you can. Treat this as your new gym for the year and learn how to pump foil. It's super hard beginnings, but it opens up so much after you have the basics. Just practice every day and you'll get this. I hope to see you on the water.